Well, hello everybody and welcome to today's webinar. Let's get straight down to it. And of course, the mission with Reliv is to nourish the world in mind, body and spirit, and all distributors involved with Reliv go out there and they share that every day that they're out there changing people's lives. Our 3-year vision for Reliv Asia Pacific is to achieve $1 million US in sales per month in the region, and we are well and truly on our way to achieving that. And part of how we do that is through our priorities, which for this year, of course, are to increase our sponsoring, sales, advancements, and, of course, retention, and watch people, the distributors, grow further and further and come closer and closer to financial independence. Now, we're developing our brand awareness, and this year we've got some great strategies to put into place to actually make that grow even faster. Our social media strategy is obviously going to be a great part of that, and we are going to be developing that further and further throughout the year as we are increasing our online capabilities. And of course, our focus is at director level, and the reason for this is that's where you start to really build an organization. And we're putting some things in place. There'll be lots of news to come about how people can build through to director level and how we can help people to get to master affiliate, which of course is one level below director. This week our webinar is on effective presentations, and I'd like to thank Bronze Ambassador Julie Moeller and Ambassador Barb Verbonich from the US for creating this presentation. I'm Birch, I'm the Asia Pacific Sales Manager, and today we're going to be talking about effective presentations. Now, your goal when you do a presentation, of course, should be to share the whole Reliv story. It's really important, and it's important because you make much more of a positive impact the more presentations that you make and the more effective presentations that you make. And let's make sure we're really clear on that word, effective. Effective presentations, not just a presentation. Anyone can do one, but let's make them effective. Let's make them count, because we do control the growth of our business by the number of appointments that we do, effective appointments that we do, and that's daily, weekly, monthly. We need to make sure that we are doing presentations, we are making appointments, that we're actually out there talking to people and building the business through getting in front of people and talking to them about the whole business, about everything that's involved. Because an effective appointment does start with you. It's all about a conversation, which of course leads to a time to meet that's mutually beneficial to both of you. But you've got to ask yourself these questions. Number one, who is it you're actually going to connect with and going to present to and meet with? When are you going to do it? When do you have the time to do that? Is it clear in your mind what times within the week that you have to build your Reliv business? Because let's face it, for most people, it is a part-time business building their Reliv business. So you've got to be very clear as to when you are available. And that also comes down to having your goals clearly set and knowing what you're available to do throughout the week and how many hours in the week you've actually got to put into your Reliv business. Where are you going to find these people? That's an important question to ask yourself. Where are you going to find these people? You need to talk to your upline, talk to other people. Sit down and consider it. And we've done different webinars on ways to do that. Okay, look in our Getting Started guide. Guys, there's so many ways that you can find out and answer this question, but you need to ask yourself that question. Don't just blindly go out there trying to find people. And how? How are you going to reach these people? You need to sit back and consider that. And you need to set your goals around these questions. You need to set an action plan around these questions. And of course, a webinar that we've recently done has been on setting goals. So if you haven't seen that one, please lock in and look at that webinar and then come back and ask yourself these questions and set yourself an action plan so that you can move forward with it. Now, there is a process that you need to go through to create an effective presentation. You definitely need to be prepared. And every single meeting that you have, no matter what it is, even if it's just your very first one where you're going to set the appointment, you need to have a purpose. So you need to be prepared with a purpose. You've got to do your homework. You've got to be aware that every presentation is different because the person you're speaking to is different. They've got different pressures in their lives, different stresses, different environments that they operate within. And it's important that you do this as a team, that you work with your team, that you work with your upline. Because quite often, just a very quick three-way call, for instance, while you're doing a presentation, can be really effective, and that's operating as a team. And of course, as it says here, a team is an acronym for together, everyone achieves more. And it is so true. And the Reliv success system is based around this concept. It's based around this concept to enable you to build your business faster and to enable you to rely on the people with more experience, and also to rely on the fact that you've got other people within the Reliv family who have great stories that you can actually use when you need to use them. It's important to be relational, okay? So don't make it half the people that you want to present to. Go to them. Make it as easy as you can for them, because in this day and age, with all the time pressures people have, you know what? It can actually be a situation where just that one thing of getting them to go to drive, for instance, for 20 minutes may be too much, and they'll go, no thanks. It may be that you do it on a webinar. It may be that you do it by phone. However you're going to do your presentation, you might be doing it by Skype. But make it easy for them. Make it as easy for them as you possibly can. You've got to listen to what they're saying. And you know what? If you don't know what to talk about, if you're not sure how to get in and find out, because you've got to ask people questions, right? When you're doing a presentation, you've got to present information, but you need to ask questions so that you know which parts of the information that you are presenting are going to be more relevant to the person sitting opposite you. Now, FORM is a great acronym. As you can see there, what it stands for. And one of these four things, I'll guarantee you, the person you're speaking to has a hot button in at least one of these areas. And I tell you, most people have a hot button in the money area. Now, sometimes in this acronym of FORM, some people will say the M stands for message. But I think, in all fairness, that it's more relevant to use money as part of this acronym. Because most people have money issues. Most people have money concerns. Most people have money stresses. And you can find the hot button when you're talking about money. If you want to talk to someone about building a Reliv business, well, come on. Money is going to be a big part of that, particularly when you're talking about creating financial independence. And, of course, occupation. Are people happy in their job? Are they not happy in their job? So you've got to ask these questions in these four areas. If you just remember this, FORM. And you ask questions about it. You ask questions in these areas, and you will find people's hot buttons. They will tell you. You ask the question, you'll get the answer. And, of course, you need to address any objections and questions that they have. Our questions are pretty simple to answer, and if you don't know the answer, you say, well, you know what? I don't know that answer, but I'll get that answer for you. And if you've actually set up for a three-way call, excuse me, with your sponsor, then you know what? You may be able to ask your sponsor that question right there on the phone and get an answer. Don't ever try and bluff your way through. If you don't know the answer to a question, say you don't know, because that stands a lot for your integrity and the way they will see you as they work with you moving forward. Addressing objections is important, obviously, but people don't see the objections as a stumbling block. Objections are really buying signs. If you consider them as that, if someone wasn't interested in some way, they wouldn't put up an objection. Of course, you're going to get that very, very small percent of naysayers who just are up there putting objection after objection after objection. You know what? Those people aren't worth wasting your time with. But generally speaking, most people, when they put forward an objection, it's really and truly a question because they're interested in what you're talking about. And if you listen to what the question they're asking or the objection that they're giving, you will actually often find that within the question there is a way to answer that objection back towards them. And I'll tell you one thing, when you're answering objections or addressing objections, repeat the objection word for word back to the person as they asked it. And I won't go into why that is in this presentation because that's not part of this webinar, but trust me, when someone gives you an objection, repeat it word for word back to them. Okay. It's really important to be excited. Be excited and engaged. Because if you're excited, people will pick up on that. You'll attract more people. They'll want to be a part of it, and you need to be engaged with the person. Don't have your phone turned on and looking at it and having messages going off, and your eyes are going across to your phone every now. Put your phone in your pocket. Turn it down so you don't it doesn't ring and disturb you. Don't be looking around you at what's happening. If you're in a coffee shop or you're somewhere in public, don't be looking around you. Engage with the person that you're presenting to or the people that you're presenting to. And it is important to be relaxed and have fun. If you're not finding it fun, then you need to actually just sit back, analyze and see why is it you're not having fun. Maybe you need to do it more often. Maybe you need to role play and practice with other people in your group, with your upline. You need to share your belief. That's really, really important. And it says here, the company, the mission, the product, the opportunity, absolutely. You need to share all of that with passion, but you also need to share your belief in yourself, because it's your belief in yourself that will actually help people to engage with you. They will engage with you when they feel that belief that you have in yourself, and that belief in yourself will also show when you are talking about your belief in the other things mentioned here. And I cannot tell you how important it is to have that belief in yourself, and if you don't, then you need to work on getting that belief in yourself and believe that you're doing the right thing. Because if you don't believe that you're doing the right thing and that you're heading in the right direction and this is exactly what you want to do, then how can you expect other people to believe you? You've got to believe in yourself before other people can believe you. But you have to have passion. You need to show that passion that you have, that passion for where you're going with your life in your business with Reliv. What is it that's excited you about it? What excited you when you first started? Sometimes we forget. Well, go back and think about it. And what excites you now? And if you're not feeling excited, find something that excites you, because that is what engages people. People want to be a part of it when you're excited. And stories, let's face it, our business is about stories. You can give people information after information after information. But you know what? Most times what captures people, and it captures them in their heart, is the stories. And we've recently done a webinar on how to tell your story. And if you're not sure on how to tell your story, go to our YouTube channel and check out that webinar and learn how to share your story and learn how to build that story, because it does bring it all to life. It makes it personal. It actually helps to get that person to engage. And when people engage from the heart, they really engage. Because there's two different ways. People can engage from the head and an intellectual level. But once someone engages from the heart, you've actually got them. You've got them. They're interested. They want to be a part of it. And the stories play a huge role in how you actually do that. And you need to have other stories available as well, not just yours. Find out the stories of other people. And I'm sure you've heard many, many stories from other people in the business. Use them. Nobody in the Reliv family is going to be concerned if you use their story when you're talking to someone, and that person, that story actually incentivizes that person to get involved. People will be excited to know that that's happening. You've got to empower people with the options, okay? There's so many options for people. People can come in as a preferred customer. They can come in as a retail distributor. They can come in as an affiliate. They can come in as a fast start. They can come in as a master affiliate. But you know what? Make it clear. Give people 3 options. Show them all of these options. Yes, they can be a preferred customer. They can come on board and they can use our product. But you know what? They're interested in building a business. They may like to come in at the fast start level at 30% and then build their business through to master affiliate. And the majority of people who want to build a business will come in at this level. However, you will meet that percentage of people who really see it as a business, are willing to invest, and they have the opportunity and the option to come in at a master affiliate level. But this is where the rubber meets the road, okay? You've got to share the big picture. And you must share all the options with everybody. Do not prejudge anybody. And I can tell you a story related to this in a previous company that I was with. A leading distributor was talking to an old lady who was in her 80s. And they thought, well, this person in their 80s are probably not going to be interested in the business. Well, you know what? Well, they weren't sure which way to go. I'll tell them about it anyway. So they gave a short spiel about the business. but they were predominantly talking about the product. Short little piece about the business and left them with a brochure. Well, the next day, the older woman wasn't interested, but the next day her daughter came around, and her daughter saw the brochure, showed interest, followed up, contacted the distributor, and that person grew to become one of the biggest businesses within that distributor's organisation. So never prejudge, because you never know what's going to happen. It's really important to be natural. It's really important to be natural. Okay, ask the question. Don't be scared. You know, just ask the question. Allow the person to make the decision. If you've given them information and you've listened to them while you've talked to them and asked them questions, and you've had a conversation and you've found their hot buttons, just ask the question. You've got to allow time for them to go through the process to think. And let me tell you something. When you've said to somebody, okay, well, let's get you started, don't say another word. Wait for them to speak next. One of the oldest rules in the sales manual. When you've asked the question, wait for them to speak next. And remember, any decision they make is the right decision, and you work with them on that, okay? It's really that simple. But if you don't ask the question, you'll never get them on board. And it's the simplest way, really simply, when you give them the information is, okay, let's get you started. It's actually not a question, if you notice that. It's a statement. Let's get you started. It's called a presumptive close. Just ask the question, guys. Allow them time to process it. Do not speak. Wait for them to speak. And remember, any decision they make is the right decision. Timing is everything, you know, and it's all about the person. You know, they come on board, and it's, as it says, 30, 60, 90-day rule of thumb. It comes down to what's going to work best for them, how committed they are, how much time they've got. It's up to you, once someone is committed, to work out what is going to work best for them and what time frame are they going to be able to build their business, because in the early days, that's when people are most excited. And in the early days, if someone wants to build a business, that's when they should be doing most of their recruiting. Most of their sponsoring should be happening in those first 90 days. And when someone says no to you, it really means not now. You know, life is so much about timing. You know it yourself in different things that have happened. And I'll bet there'll be people listening to this webinar who said no the first time someone approached them. Maybe they said no 4 or 5 times or more. But you know what? It's all about timing. Maybe they're not ready. Maybe there's things that's happening in their life. Well, you know what? Put them into your database and follow them up at a later date. Schedule those next steps. So if someone's not interested, hey, you know what? Is it okay with you? I'll follow up with you, in a couple of months. Is that okay? Yeah, sure. If they say no, well, look, we'll let it go, and I'll give you a buzz in about 6 months' time. Okay? You know, guys, you need to make sure that you always schedule the next steps after every meeting, no matter what happens. Schedule the next step, whether it's a successful meeting or whether someone says no, whatever happens, schedule the next steps. Never walk away without having scheduled the next steps. That means that you're not committed to what's happening, and neither are they. Commit to what's happening, commit to the next steps. So basically what we've talked about is the acronym here, present. You need to be prepared, keep it relational, be excited, share stories, empower people with the options, be natural about what you do, and remember, above all else, timing is so important, because with effective presentations, it's all about presenting the best of what Reliv has to offer. And when you do that, everybody wins. And that's what we're after, isn't it? So all you need to do is go through this, think about what you're going to do, and do it lots and lots and lots. Present, present, present. The more you present, the better you'll get at it, the easier it'll become, the more natural you'll be, and the more excited you will be. So guys, everybody wins when you present the best of what Reliv has to offer. And I want to share with you what Robert Kennedy, the brother of the late Robert Kennedy, the brother of President JFK, only those who dare to fail greatly can ever achieve greatly. That is so true. So if you're going to let fear rule your life and not take risks and not take steps to improve your business, to grow your business, to go out into the unknown, to do things outside of your comfort zone, if you're not willing to fail greatly, you won't achieve greatly. You've got to be willing to get out there and get out of your comfort zone. Make 2014 the year that you do it. If you've been in the business for a while and your business hasn't grown that quickly, or it hasn't grown that big, guys, get out of your comfort zone. Go out there and talk to more people. Dare to fail greatly. The bottom line in this business is about numbers. It's about the number of people you speak to. And if you're speaking to less than 10 people a month, you're not speaking to enough people. Get out there and speak to people and dare to fail greatly. I want to share another quote from you, for you, and that's from one of my personal heroes, and that is Mahatma Gandhi. It's the action, not the fruit of the action, that's important. You have to do the right thing. It may not be in your power, may not be in your time that there'll be any fruit, but that doesn't mean you stop doing the right thing. You may never know what results come from your action, but if you do nothing, there will be no result. If you do nothing, there will be no result. Now, of course, we hope that the results will come in your time because we're building a business here. But the gist of this quote, it's about the action. It's about getting out there and doing the appropriate action to build your business. But if you don't do the action, if you do nothing, there will be no result. So you need to do the action day after day after day and be consistent. Set your goals. And we did a webinar on that recently. So set your goals. Go on our YouTube channel and look at that one and set your goals. And remember, get out there and do something so that there will be a result. And remember, each week's webinar is advised by email and on Facebook every Monday. So keep your eyes open, and all I can say to you at this point is sponsor, promote, advance, and you know what? Get out there and ignite your business. Thanks everyone for attending today's webinar.